Hey, morning guys. Can you hear me okay? Please drop me a message in the chat if you can hear me okay. I've been having some technical issues here. Yeah, so thank you guys for waiting. So let me share my screen real quick so we can go ahead and get started. All right, let's see. Share my screen. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's wait a couple more minutes so more people join to this live broadcast. I'm very excited, guys. Thank you for joining again. Thank you. So today we're going to learn 10 really awesome tips. So if you want to be successful in Power BI, this is your time, my friends. Awesome. Okay. Cool. So let me know, where are you watching this live from? Is it from Europe? Is it from South America? Is it from, just let me know where you're watching this live broadcast from. Okay, so one more people. India, there you go. UK, awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your time, and I know here in the States it's about 9:40 Central Standard Time, so it might be a different time zone for you guys, but I really appreciate that. Pakistan, there you go. Awesome, man. So people from different parts of the world. I love that. Okay, 6 people. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. I know we are 10 minutes after, so let's get started, and then the other guys will join later, so it wouldn't be an issue anyways, because we are recording this session. Okay, so thank you again for coming. I really appreciate your time. Like I said, for those who don't know who I am, my name is Nestor Adriansen. I've been creating Power BI and data visualization content since 2019, and I'm very thankful for your support. The channel has been growing really steadily. I would say that slowly but steadily, and I really appreciate your support. So let's get started. Someone from Buenos Aires. Is it Buenos Aires? No, from Peru. Huancayo, Peru. Go Peru. Awesome. All right, so like I said, we're going to talk about 10 things you should know about Power BI. I know Power BI is one of the awesome data visualization tools that we know in the market, and we need to learn it, right? So if we want to be awesome in Power BI, we need to learn the fundamentals, the basic concepts, and then we can go from there. All right, so let's get started, folks. So let's see. Okay, so this is our agenda. We have 10 points, like I said, 10 things that you guys need to know about Power BI. We're going to learn about Power BI Desktop. This is the application that we usually use to create reports. So we're going to learn about data sets to practice in Power BI. I've heard a lot of questions about this. Hey, where can I get data from to practice? I want to learn real life scenarios, right? So I want to share with you a couple of things or a couple of sources where you can find this data. So the third point, build reports in Power BI Desktop. Like I said, we usually use this application to create reports. And also we're gonna learn how to create reports online or Power BI service. So we're gonna do that as well. Another good concept worth learning is the difference between dashboards and reports. So there is this misconception, or we always get confused dashboards with reports. So I'm gonna share with you the difference, the key differences, so you will have a better understanding about what is a dashboard and what's a report in Power BI. Also, the programming languages. So it's really key to learn programming languages if you want to be successful in Power BI. So I'm going to share with you the key programming languages. You don't have to learn anything. I mean, you don't have to learn everything, but if you learn these languages, these key languages, you will be successful in Power BI. Also, I'm going to show you how to connect Power BI to SQL Server. Point number 8, good practices when importing data into Power BI. So you don't have to import everything. If you have a table, maybe you care about 3 or 4 columns, and also you can use additional filters, right? In that way, so your reports work more efficiently when they refresh. So I'm going to share a couple of tips there as well. And then point number 9, DAX is tough. You might have experienced this. It's not easy. And I'm going to share with you some sources as well if you want to learn this really, really critical language in Power BI. And finally, guys, additional sources as well. I know you are really, really ready to learn this skill, so I'm going to share with you some additional critical sources as well. Okay. What else? And also we have Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, please keep your questions, take notes, and at the end I will be answering questions. Okay. All right. So are you guys ready? Say yes like this. Send me, share a thumbs up. So let's get started with the point number 1. Okay. Point number 1. So what is Power BI Desktop? Like I said, if you learn the basics and if you learn it well, that's it. So because you are creating a strong foundation, and then everything comes later, right? So just learn the basics and learn it quickly and learn it well. So that's my recommendation. And like it says right here, Power BI Desktop is the free application, the free Microsoft application that you can install on your computer and lets you connect to transform and visualize your data. Okay. There are 2 different ways to install this software on your computer. You can go to the Microsoft Store app and get the app from there, or you can also install directly from the web. And that's the option that I prefer doing. So we're gonna do that, okay? And let me see if I can put this in a presentation mode. Let's see. I think that works better. Okay, there it is. So like I said, 2 different options here to download the application. You can go to the Microsoft Store, or you can use the web directly, and you can download the software from there. So let's do this real quick. So we're gonna go to let's see, Microsoft Store. So it's opening here, just to give an idea about what I'm talking about. So it's thinking. So right here, for example, there is an option called Apps, right? So here you're gonna type Power BI Desktop. This option, there it is, and you can get the application from there. So there are some disadvantages if you use the application from the Microsoft Store, right? But you can do that as well. And then the other option that I love doing is the download Power BI Desktop directly from the web. So if you hit this option, and I'm going to share with you guys this presentation as well later, but if you hit this option, this window pops up, and then you can start playing here, right? select the language. Let's say that we select English, and then you want to take a look at the details as well before you download the software. So see right here, so this was published in June 14. So this is the latest one, because remember, Power BI Desktop, we receive updates on a monthly basis, mainly. So this is the latest one, this is the size, and you can read the details there. System requirements, this is also really critical. You have to be aware of these requirements, operating system, etc., right? And then install instructions, just follow the steps here. So let's say that we want to download the application, just download here, and then let's select here 64, because that's the bits that my computer has, and then hit next, and then automatically here you can see that it's downloading, right? So that's how it works, guys. And let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so once you install Power BI Desktop, you will have something like this. Let me open the application real quick here. Just give me a second here. It's opening. So once you follow the steps, you install Power BI Desktop, you will be able to open the app. So it's thinking. Okay, here it is, right? So this is the application. This is where everything happens. You create your reports, you create awesome visualizations in Power BI Desktop. Okay, so there you guys have it, and this is the first point that I wanted to share with you. And now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so data sets to practice in Power BI. Like I said, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, where can I get data to practice, right? So I have here 4 different sources. There might be more, but based on my experience, you can use these to start playing with Power BI, right? So once you open Power BI Desktop, like it's right here. So this is the canvas, right? And you have 4 different options. You can import data from Excel, from SQL Server. You can even copy and paste data into blank table. And also you can try a sample data set. So that's what we have here, right? This is the screenshot. And that's the first point that we have here. It says try a sample data set within Power BI Desktop. And there is a finance Excel table there. So let's hit this option real quick just to show you how it works. So like I said, there is a lot of sources here to get data from. So no excuses. See right here, this is the Excel file. If you can download this as well. Let's hit this option. Yeah. So this is the file. And then if you want to download, just let's see. You can save a copy here, right? Save a copy. And it's downloading right now. See? And that's the file that we're going to be using to have a quick demo later on. Okay, so there you go. And now if we go back to the presentation. Okay, so that's one of the first sources. Like I said, no excuses, my friends. There is a lot of data here to practice. So the other source is the Kaggle website. And this is a free, there is free information here, free data sets, but you need to get an account. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So let's hit this option. And then right here, this way, this is the website, right? Kaggle.com. Let's say that you want to play with Amazon data. So just type Amazon here. And let's say that we care about unlock mobile phones, right? See right here, there is some description about the data. And then if you scroll down, there is an option here called there's an option that says download, right? So here, if you hit download, let's do this real quick. And now if you don't have an account, so you have to create one. You just need an email and also create a password, and that's it. But if you already have an account, just follow the steps, and that's how you can find this information, okay? Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. So that was the Kaggle datasets, and now there is a website called Yahoo Finance. So there is good information there as well about stocks. So let's hit this option real quick. Here it is. So you can type here Amazon as well if you want. Amazon. Oops. Let's type this. Let's select this option. And then if you take a look at historical data here, right? So you can start playing here with this data, and you want to have this in an Excel file, or at least CSV file, right? So there are a couple of features here that you need to work on. Time period, you can select the time period here. And also you can check right here if you want to have everything, select max, historical prices. There is 4 different items here that you can select. We care about prices for the example. And then if you want to see this daily, weekly, or monthly, you can do that as well. Let's say monthly for now, and let's apply these changes. And let's see what happens. Okay, awesome. So and then there is an option here called download. Let's hit this option, and automatically you guys can see here. So it's downloading this CSV file. What do you guys think? Awesome, right? So like I said, no excuses to practice, my friends. Let's go back to the presentation here. Okay, so the other piece of information that I have here to share with you is the Adventure Works. This is another data set prepared by Microsoft. So if we hit this option, so it will take us to this website, and here the Adventure Works, this is the 2020 version, okay? And then there's more data here as well. And there is more information that you can explore. See right here, if you hit this option, it will take you to the Adventure Works sample database. And then here, you can start exploring the data sets, right? So there is one for 2020, there's one for 2019, for example, 2017, 2016. So there are improvements, right? So you can just select whatever works best for you. We go back here. So there should be one for 2020 as well. It's right here. See right here? And then this is for 2020, for example, right? So let's hit this option and then download. See right here? So it's downloading. So if you go back to the presentation, in order to install this database, you need to have Microsoft SQL Server Studio. SQL Server Studio, Microsoft Studio, I think it is. Maybe I'm not pronouncing this correctly, but you have to have that installed first, and then you can start populating the server with this database. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well in a few minutes, okay? So don't panic. All right, so what do you guys think so far? Let me know in the comments. So point number 2 is done. Let's move on to the next point. Okay, point number 3, build reports in Power BI Desktop. So you might be asking yourself, this guy is talking a lot about theory. I don't care about theory. So let's practice, guys. So let's do that. So we're going to build a report in Power BI Desktop. Like I said, Power BI Desktop is one of the is the tool that we use to create reports. And we're going to use the try a sample dataset feature within Power BI Desktop. How about that? So let's go back to Power BI here. This is the application that we installed, right? And then let's try it. Let's give it a try. If you hit this option, there is a new window here, and let's hit load sample data. Okay, so it's loading. And then financials. So let's hit, well, you can also check the other table here, or the other information. It's basically the same. I like financial because it's in a table format. It's for my as a table. Okay, so let's hit load. So it's loading here. Okay, it's loading. Okay, it's thinking, guys. 700 rows loaded. Awesome. So as you can see here, so this is the financials table, and you can start exploring here, right? So if you go to data, check data here, select the table. So here we have the columns, and then in total 700 rows. Awesome. And then you can start playing, right? So let's say that we're going to create a measure. So let's do that real quick. So let's call this DAX measures. I always like to create a separate table to store my measures. It's a good practice because you will be more organized having a table specifically for your measures. Okay, so right click here, new measure, and this is just for the example, remember that. All right, so let's call this total profits if we want. Let's create an aggregation here, sum profits. There you go. Oops. Profits. Enter. Boom. We created our first measure. So now we can start creating our visuals, right? If we select, for example, this visual called table is right here. Let's drag profits into this table, and we will see a number here, right? About $17 million. And now, if we want to filter this by country, we can do that as well. Check this out. There it is, right? So remember that we are creating our measures, because you can also do the analysis, right? If you go back to the table here, see right here, you can see profits. Where is the column called profits? It's right here, right? It's a numeric value. And then if you drag and drop into this table, you might get the same results. Check this out, right? So you're getting the same results. This is called an implicit measure because you don't have to do anything, right? Microsoft, the engine, is doing the work for you. But my recommendation is to create measures because you have more control of what you're doing. Okay, you can format this better as well. So you can change this. Let's remove profit for now, the implicit measure, and let's create another visual here. Let's change this to a bar chart. There it is, and you can start here customizing this visual as well. Just add data labels. There you go. You can copy these visuals, Control-C, Control-V, filter right, and then instead of country, how about if we care about segment? There you go. So segment, let's move segment into the y-axis. There you go. So we are making money for almost every single segment with the exception of enterprise, right? So we are losing money here. So what do you guys think? That's how we can start working and playing in Power BI Desktop. Okay? So now let's go back to our presentation and see what else we have. Awesome. We are done with point number 3. So let's move on to the next one. Build reports online. So what are you talking about? You might say. What are you talking about? How can we create reports online? So guys, we can do that as well. You have to have a license, which is the Power BI Pro license usually, or if you have premium capacity, you don't have to have a license, but usually you have to have a license to start creating reports in Power BI service or online as well. So we're going to use this file. If you remember, we downloaded a file called financial sample. This is an Excel file. So we're going to manually enter data. Okay. So let's do that real quick. So if we go back to here, and I need to open my Power BI service account. Just give me a second here. Okay. So let me know if you can see it. But this is Power BI service, right? So the idea is to create a report here in Power BI service. So as you can see here, there is an option called create. Let's hit this option. And then 2 more options here. Paste or manually enter the data. So we're gonna copy and paste data actually. Okay, so let's do that. If you remember, so we downloaded this file, financial sample, a few minutes ago. So we're gonna open this file. And here it is. So this is the data that we're gonna use to create our first report in Power BI service. Copy this and then paste into here, right? So we're gonna select this option and we're gonna select this option right here. The first cell that you guys see it right there. Control V. And then if you see, the first row should be the headers, right? So let's hit this option here. Boom. Automatically, guys, the first row now is the header. Okay. So, and then there is a couple of options here as well. You can create, Microsoft can create a report for you. So auto create report. You can create a blank report, or you can create just a data set, right? So because we don't want to waste time, we're going to select here auto create report. And let's see what happens. So it's loading, my friends. Fingers crossed. Okay. So while this is loading, if you don't have an account and a pro license account, you can have a trial here. Well, in my case, I had a trial for the premium per user capacity here, for example. So like I said, there's a lot of options here. But there it is. So this is the report that Microsoft created for me. What do you guys think, right? Awesome. So it's based on units sold by product here. And there is also some comments here that help you understand what is going on with this data, with this visual, right? And then on the right here, we have the units sold by country. At the bottom, we have units sold by segment and also by discount band. So this is a really, really nice way to create reports as well. Like I said, this is in Power BI service. This is online. Okay, so once I'm done with this, we can save the report, for example, and we can call this 10 call this 10, oops, 10 things, 10 things you should know. Oops, you should know in Power BI, for example, right? Workspace, you can select any workspace, and I already created this workspace called 10 things you should know about Power BI. So I'm gonna save it there. Okay, check this out. So it's loading, it's saving. So now we are done. If you go to workspaces here, I have a lot of workspaces, but let's select the one that it's storing this report. See right here? So I already created a couple of tests there, but the report that we just created is this one right here, right? So 10 things you should know in Power BI. Let's open the report. It's loading. Here it is. Let's say that you want to edit this report. So you can do that as well in the web. So there is an option here called edit. Continue. See right here? So there is the fields pane here. The visualization pane is there. So now let's say that I don't like this visual. I want to replace this with a table. We can do that as well here. Check this out. It works, right? And then how about this? And then how about this? You get the idea. So you can start making changes, right, in Power BI service. And then when you're done with these changes, just save the changes. Save. That's it. So there are some limitations here as well, and I'm going to show you what they are. So let's go back to our presentation. Okay, so there it is, right? So there is something here that we need to be aware of when we do this, when we create reports online. So let's hit this option. See right here, this is something that I shared with you. And then I want to share with you the considerations and limitations. You need to have a license, like I said, and you don't need to have a license if your workspace is assigned to a premium capacity, like I mentioned before. And then these are the limitations, right? If you have, for example, a CSV file or Excel file, you need to use the paste option to add your data. A file upload option is coming later, but we don't have it yet, okay? And also, the size of the data you paste, the maximum should be 512. 512, right? So just be aware of that. And also, there are also more limitations here. The table can be longer than 80 characters. So the columns cannot be longer than 512 characters. So the column names shouldn't have quotation marks, periods, etc. So just be aware of these limitations when you're creating reports online. So that's, I guess, my point, okay? All right, but like I said, you can start playing with that, just explore it. Let's go back to our presentation, okay? All right, so we are done with point number 4. Let's move on to point number 5, dashboard versus reports. So we get confused with this terminology a lot. So remember, dashboards and reports are not the same. So please keep that in mind. And we usually call dashboards reports, or vice versa, right? And when that's not the case. So let me show you here the key differences. So these are the key differences, my friends. Okay, so dashboards right here, reports right here, right? Dashboards, just one page. Just be aware of that. Reports, we can have multiple pages here, one page or multiple pages, right? So data sources, dashboards. So we can have multiple data sources here, because we are basically, when we are creating dashboards, and we usually create dashboards in Power BI service, so we ping visuals or reports from multiple data sources. So we can do that when we create dashboards. But for reports, the data set is just one single data set. What else? So dashboards are available in Power BI Desktop? No, they are not available. So if you're saying, hey, I'm creating a dashboard in Power BI Desktop, you might be using the wrong terminology, okay? And then for reports, yes, we can create reports in Power BI Desktop, of course, like I said before. There are also some things to be aware of about filtering, so you can read that. Subscribe, yes, you can set up a subscribe option in dashboards here. It can be done actually in both dashboards and reports. Can you see underlying datasets, tables, and fields? If it's dashboards, you cannot see that, right? And reports, you can do that. You can see that. Okay, so this is something to be aware of. And like I said, we usually confuse this terminology. And so after you guys hear this tutorial, after you guys hear these concepts, you might be able to differentiate them. All right. So we are done with point number 5. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so awesome. So let's talk about how to connect Power BI to SQL Server. So this is a good skill to have, and I'm going to show you how to do that, right? So the first thing that you need to learn here is, or you need to use here Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So this is key. You need to install this first, and then we can import a table from SQL Server to Power BI, right? And then we can select a specific table, right? We can select a specific table from the SQL Server database. All right. So now, how do we do this? It's not too complicated, my friends. So let's do that. See right here, I actually found a tutorial on YouTube. Remember, YouTube is awesome. You can find really good content there. So how to install local SQL Server Express, and also SQL Server Management Studio, and also the AdventureWorks database. Isn't that awesome? So let's hit this option. And there is a guy who creates really good content here. And then there is an ad, of course, here. So let's see if we can skip this ad. Okay. See right there?
No worries about that. In this video, you will learn how to set up a local SQL server together with AdventureWorks database. Interested? Stay with me.
Yep. So just follow the steps. This is really good content, and I found this very helpful. If you can install, remember this is a free tool. So SQL Server Express, SQL Server Management Studio, and also the AdventureWorks database. Like I said, no excuses, my friends. This is free content, so give it a try. So I'm not going to go into the details here, but I wanted to share with you the source that you can use to install these tools. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation, and let's start playing with. Let's start importing tables to Microsoft Power BI from SQL Server. So let's do that. Are you guys ready? So let's do this, my friends. So we're gonna open here a new report, and let's do this. So it's loading. Okay. Awesome. So now, so we need to find Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So let's open this application because I already installed this. Like I said, you just need to follow the steps that the guy was explaining in the video before, and then you will have installed SQL Server Management Studio. So it's loading the application, so just give me a second here. Okay, see right there? So this is the application, connect. There it is. So as you can see, if you click on these databases, so we have right here two data sets or databases, right? We have the AdventureWorks 2019 and also the 2020. See? So let's explore the 2020 for now, and then let's go to tables. So if we take a look at tables, there is a table here, a fact table called Internet Sales. So let's do something really cool here. Let's create a new query. And let's see what happens. Okay, so if you click here, right click, and then select top 1,000 rows. You can do that, right? Check this out. This is loading. There it is. Okay, so you can see right here 1,000 rows, right? 1,000 rows. And then now what we need to do is go to Power BI Desktop. And here we're gonna create here a connection, right? SQL Server. Hit this option. And then the server, if you go back to this option right here, so let's go to tools. So the server is right here. See right here? So this is the server name. Just copy this. It might be something different for you. And then go back to here, paste, and then database. This is optional, but guess what? So we're gonna do something really cool here. Check this out. So we're gonna copy this code into advanced options, okay? Control V, and we're gonna remove, and well, let's leave it as is for now. And then let's see what happens, okay? Because the idea is to connect Power BI Desktop to SQL Server. Let's hit OK and see what happens. Nothing happens. There is another here. This is optional, but for some reason, I need to place here the database name. Okay, so let's go back to SQL here, Server Management Studio. And here, if you can see the database, the name is this one right here. So right click, rename this, Control C. Okay, let's go back to Power BI Desktop, and then we're gonna paste this into here. Now let's hit OK and let's see what happens. It's working, and let's hit load. So fingers crossed, my friends. It's loading. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Okay. It's loading. Okay, perfect. So now you can see that this table is here. So let's call this internet sales, for example. Okay. Internet sales, hit enter. There it is. If you want to explore the data, you can do that as well here. Let's hit data. Select the table, right? And here you can see what's going on. This is the table. There are many columns here, and also these many rows, right? Well, for this particular case, we only have 1,000 rows because we limit the rows, but that's what we have. So, and then you can start playing with this tool if you want. So let's say that you want to have the sales order number here. Let's drag this into the canvas. And also, for now, we can just use a implicit measure here. Let's say tax amount per order number. So we can do that, right? So see right here. So we have different tax amounts for every single order. And then if you want to change here the visual, you can do that as well. You can do that as well here. See? So it seems like it's the same, but it's actually not the same. If you scroll down, see? So we have different values there. You can add here also a label if you want to see the difference, right? See? Scroll down. There it is. So it's different actually. Okay? So, but this is just as a reference, and then you can start playing. You can start importing more tables, maybe dimension tables also from the same database. You can do that as well. Okay? Perfect. So now let's go back to the presentation. All right. So we already imported our first table from SQL Server to Power BI. So we are good there. Now let's move on to the next slide, my friends. Programming languages. Okay, so this is good because a lot of people get so stressed out because they hear about SQL, they hear about DAX, they hear about Power Query, they hear about all the different languages, right? Python, R, who knows, so many other languages. But according to my experience, based on my experience, you don't have to learn everything, my friends. Like I said, just learn the basics and learn them well. So, but there are three languages that you need to explore more, in my opinion. SQL, that's the one that we just play with, right? There is another one called Power Query. Power Query, if you're not familiar with Power Query, you can clean data with this tool. You can change the format. You can reduce columns. You can increase columns. You can duplicate columns. You can do so many things with Power Query. So the language is called M, and it's highly recommended. Okay, DAX is also another tool or another programming languages that you need to learn here if you want to be successful in Power BI. So in DAX, like I said, it's not easy, but just start with the basics. So let's take a look at the sources here if you want to keep exploring for Power Query, for example. So you can take a look at this. This is one of the books that I got, and I think I have it right here. Let's see. Yeah, it's right here. If you can see it. So this is a good book as well. You can take a look at that if you want to learn more about Power Query. And then for DAX, go back to the presentation. For DAX, there is this book. Highly recommended as well. The authors are Alberto Ferrari and Marco Russo. So really, really good books as well. Highly recommended. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the presentation. Awesome. All right. So, like I said here, you don't have to learn everything, but just start learning these three programming languages, and you will be ahead of the game. All right. Okay. So, point number 8. Good practices when importing data to Power BI. So, less is more is less, like it says right here, right? What does it mean? So, if you go back to SQL here, remember that we didn't apply any filter. We are just running the code for the whole table, right? There might be millions of columns and rows, not columns, but millions of rows and many columns, right? But we can make a couple of changes here, right? So as you can see here, we can add a filter if we want, where filter, and we only care about these. Let's see if I can copy this. No. Okay. So let's see if we want to apply a filter here just for product key. See? So we only care about 3 or 4 product keys here. Let's say 310, 312, and also 314, and let's say 346, and then what else? Let's look for 350. How about 350? So what we're doing here is basically adding filters to the table. We don't have to import everything into Power BI, right? And also we care about the whole number of rows that we have here. And also we can limit here some columns, right? So we don't care about, for example, let's say that we only care about a couple or 3 columns. So we care about sales order number, okay? So we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave that column, and also we care about order date key, okay? So we're gonna leave the other pieces, and then promotion key. We don't care about promotion key. So we don't care about sales territory. Let's delete that. There you go. So what we're doing here is basically just keeping the columns that we only care about. Like I said, we don't have to import everything, guys, because if we import everything, when we refresh this data, so there might be some performance issues. It will take so much longer to refresh the data, right? Maybe we would never use those columns. So just be aware of that. So now let's say that we care about unit price, and then let's remove this for now. Sales amount, yeah, we care about sales amount. And then what else? We don't care about this, just for the example, okay? Okay, so now, as you can see, what we did was we only selected the columns that were important for our analysis, and also we are adding a filter here. We only care about 5 different products, right? 310, 312, 314, 346, 350. Now we can apply here we can run the code here. So let's execute and let's see what happens. See, now it's so much better. We only have the columns that we care about. And now we can update this piece of code in Power BI. Control C. Let's go back to Power BI. Where is Power BI? I think this is the visual. Yeah, this one right here, I believe. Yep, this is the one. So now, an awesome thing about Power BI Desktop is that you can edit the pieces of code. Check this out. So let's go to Home here, transform data. And then this is the Power BI query window that I was talking about. So Power BI, within Power BI, we have this feature called Power Query, worth learning, awesome tool. So in here, for example, hit source, and here you can see the code, right? The original code. Remember that? We didn't apply any filters. What we can do here is replace this code for the one that we just modified. See? With the filters, with fewer columns, right? And then let's hit OK, and let's see what happens. So it's loading. So now once this is done, close and apply. Let's see what happens with this piece of code here. Okay, awesome. It's working, guys. It is working. And like I said, you can start importing data, different tables to Power BI Desktop, and then you can start creating your model, right? Create relationships, create your star schema. But remember, you don't have to import every single column from the source. You can make filters, right? You can add filters there, and also just be focused on what you need. That's my advice. All right. So now let's go back to our presentation, folks. So we are almost done. Are you guys ready for the Q&A session, questions and answers at the end. So prepare your questions, and let me take a look at the chat here. Someone from Nigeria. Hey, Jonah. Thank you, man. Thank you for being part of this session. Let's see who else is there. Yep, Pakistan, Nigeria. And thank you, BC Flower Bee. $10, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support, guys. I didn't know we have that feature on YouTube, right? And you can use the super chats, super stickers. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's move on now. Let's go to the next point. Point number 9. We are almost done, guys. Bear with me. So DAX is tough. DAX stands for data analysis expressions, right? So like it says right here, it is tough, and this is the recommended sources to learn DAX. I have 4 here. There might be more, but let's get started with these 4. Okay. The first one, SQL BI. Let's hit this option. Let's see what we have there. Okay, so this is the website that Marco Russo and Alberto Ferrari have. And you can find here really, really good content, free content, and also paid content. So please explore this website. They have videos, they have books, and take advantage of this data and this information, right? So now, if you go back to the presentation, and I already mentioned this book, but I'm going to mention this anyways again. So the Definitive Guide to DAX, highly recommended as well. Okay, get it if you want to master DAX. Okay, what else? Introducing DAX video course. So this is one of the courses that Marco Russo and Alberto Ferrari have. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. And this is free, of course. So there is some description here. You can explore that. These are the concepts that they are explaining. Calculate powerful functions in Power BI. Filter context, raw context. This is all related to evaluation context, really critical skill to have in Power BI. So just explore that. Free content there. Let's go back to the presentation. Okay. So what else? Microsoft DAX materials, my friends. Microsoft also has really good content. So it's right here. If you want to learn more about DAX, you can explore this content as well. What is DAX? Why is DAX so important? Prerequisites, etc. Right? It's really, really good content there. All right. So there you have it. So 4 different sources here to learn DAX. Please take advantage of those sources. So now, guys, last item, last thing that you need to be aware of in Power BI. So additional sources, my friends. I have right here 2, Dashboards in a Day by Microsoft Partners. So if you hit this option, see right here. So Microsoft is a huge company, and they partner with other companies, right, in order to provide training, free training. See right here, Dashboard in a Day. It's called Dashboard in a Day. And these are the concepts that you're going to be learning here. Connect to, import, and transform data from a variety of sources, define business rules and KPIs, explore data with powerful visualization tools, build stunning reports in Power BI, share dashboards with your team and business partners, and publish them to the web. Isn't that awesome? So, and this is all free, and you don't have to be there in person. This can be done online as well. There are different languages here. If you click this option, And let's explore what's going on here. So this is the window, right, that pops up. And here are the events. This is the schedule, right? So the next one is the 28th, June the 28th, right? In different places, Chile, the United States. But like I said, there are different languages there. And let's say that we want to be part of the dashboard in the day. The company is iLink Systems. So let's register just for the example. Okay, here it is. When is this? July 5th this year, 9 a.m. GMT time, right? So just fill out your information here, name, last name, email address, phone number, etc., right? So you can do that. So that's how it works, my friends. So just fill out your information, then you will get the details about this event. So this is a really, really, really good source if you want to keep learning about Power BI. Like I said, there is a lot of free content there. Just take advantage of it. Okay, so now let's go back to our presentation and let's keep exploring, my friends. Power BI community. This is also a great source to ask questions. If you have questions about a specific topic, you can go over this website or link. So let's explore that real quick. See right here, welcome to Microsoft Power BI community. And then there's a lot of content here, a lot of questions. And let's say that you are interested in, let's say, calendar table, for example, right? Calendar table. Let's hit option, hit enter here, and let's see what happens. Calendar table. Right, it's loading. It's taking, okay, it's thinking here. Because someone else might have the same question, right? Maybe you don't have to answer that question, but just go to the comments here. Someone is saying, hey, someone asks how I can create a calendar table using DAX or Power Query and connect to the fact table, which is missing the date column. The fact table only contains a year and quarter. See? So you can just explore this, show, reply here, and then let's say that we want to see what's going on here. We can do that as well. So this is the scenario that we're seeing here, and then this is the solution that someone else is providing, right? See, this is the solution for that specific question. So you can learn new things there as well. You can ask questions there, or you can just take a look at the answers, right? You might have the answer for your question there. Okay, back to Power BI, back to the presentation. Here it is. Okay, guys, so we are done with this, and let's see what else we have here. Bonus. I know you love bonuses, and there is something else for you here. 4 different things, okay? 4 different things. DAX functions that will help you accelerate your Power BI career. So let's say that you are trying to learn DAX, the DAX functions, right? There is a lot of things going on, right? There's so many functions. You don't have to be focusing on all the functions, right? If you learn just the first 10 functions, trust me, you will be a step ahead. So let's see what's going on here with this first source. So DAX function that will help you accelerate your Power BI career. So if you are interested in this, just fill out your information and you will get the examples here, okay? The functions and the examples. So it's a good source. What else? For those who are new to Power BI, so they are just learning about this tool, or maybe you are familiar with Power BI, but you are not so familiar. You still need to understand the concepts, right? So I prepared a course here. This is on my website. So let's explore this real quick. There it is. So these are the topics: introduction, how to install and run Power BI, Power BI desktop overview, connect to data, share your data with Power Query Editor, create visuals and reports, share your work with your peers, test your knowledge. There is a lot of these good questions here that you can explore. So, and then the next steps are there. So you can take a look at that. If you want to take a look at Udemy, so the same course is also on Udemy. Check this out. It's right there. So same concept, same topics, some details about the course. So far, 52 students, 16 ratings. So thank you everyone for your support there. Okay, so what else? And then free content. So I don't have enough money. I want to have free content. So there is free content here as well. All right, so this is loading, and this is just this is YouTube. Okay, see right here. This is the so far in English. I have 71 videos, and you can take advantage of them for free. So just select any video that you find very helpful and start playing with it. Right? See right here. So how to use Power Query. Like I said, Power Query is one of the powerful tools to clean data. From zero to hero, Power BI Desktop, how to combine tables, DAX. If you're new to DAX, there is a course here as well. And then you can keep exploring, right? And this is one of the latest videos that I have here, how to create your models in Power BI by using the star schema. For example, how to create year-over-year change calculations. You can find this here as well. So there is a lot of content here, and like I said, you don't have to pay anything here. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation and see what else we have. All right, friends, Q&A. If you guys have questions, I know I saw a question here. This is the time to ask questions, and I will do my best to answer your question. Okay, and let's see. I'm checking the chat here. People from India, UK, Pakistan, from Peru. Does Power BI have more job opportunities? There is always opportunities in Power BI, and it's growing. I've seen a lot of job opportunities in data visualization and data analysis by using Power BI. So there is definitely opportunity there. It also depends where you are living, right? If you're living in a different country, you might have to explore and which companies you want to work for. But there is definitely opportunities for this type of careers, which is Power BI and data visualization and business intelligence and that kind of stuff. Okay, so any questions, guys? Any additional questions before we close this session? If you have questions, like I said, just type it in, and then I will do my best to answer those questions, okay? What else do we have here? Let's see. Okay, so if we don't have questions, I saw just one question there. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate your time. Thank you again for following my content. I'll do my best to keep updating you with new content. And if you find this helpful, as always, please share with your friends, with your neighbors, whoever wants to learn Power BI. And like I said, I really appreciate your time. And see you next time. See you next time. Take care. Bye.